Hi, this is Jacob Baugh, Jacob's Ladder with Team Cardhoarder. I'm here for another mountain video set for you. This time I'm going to be working on a deck I've had some fun with in the past. Unfortunately, Kaladesh hasn't been released on MTGO yet, so I still have to work with the old card pool. I would love to play Standard or test out some new cards in Modern, which I'm very excited to do, but unfortunately I can't do that at the moment. Hopefully next week I'll be working with that, but this is a deck I found on the 5.0 daily list a while back, and I had saved it, and I wanted to try it out because some of the interesting takes on the deck that this person had added. Their name is right here. I'm not going to try and butcher it for you, but I'm just go over their card choices a little bit. It's basically a Krank-Clan Ironworks Thopter Foundry combo deck. So you can make infinite mana and infinite life and infinite tokens with Thopter Foundry and Krank-Clan Ironworks and Sword of the Make. Basically, you sacrifice the sword, make a 1/1, gain a life, and then sacrifice the token and the sword, even, to get 4 mana. And then you make another token if you want with another artifact like a Wellspring or a Chronex Star to draw some cards. And then you just repeat that loop until you draw what you need to kill your opponent, either more open the vaults to draw more cards, or an Emrakul to take an additional turn and just end the game on the spot. Or you can just like set up with a million life and do that, but on MTGO you can't really do that, so you have to do some workarounds. So let's go over the mana base a little bit. Let's just go through it, everything. We got some Academy Ruins for obvious reasons. It's an artifact-based deck. You can recur your cards if they kill them, and you can mill over. There is some milling in this deck that you can do. There's a Singleton Codex Shredder that you can find your artifacts and return any card, basically, instead. But you have to be kind of careful when using this, because if you mill at your Emrakul, you could actually lose a lot, basically, of your setup prior to the game, which is basically a negative, but it's still necessary for this kind of deck. Then we have some blue-white fixing lands in Adakar Waste. This deck really can't afford to play the fast lands, because it actually wants to play lands up to 4 or 5 majority of the time, so it doesn't want any tap lands. It wants to use up its mana efficiently every turn, so we don't want those. And you don't want to play fetches either for the same reason. You just don't want to normally deal yourself too much damage, but you only need to use this for colored once, maybe twice a game at most, just to use play your Thopter Foundry or your face reward. You only really need the one colored spell in the game normally, so it's not that big of a downside. So. And then we have some Blink Moths to chump block if we have to, but mostly to be an artifact to turn on Mox Opal if we have to get our colored sources, or to activate it and sacrifice it to Krank-Clan and kind of net a mana in that regard. And then we have Darksteel Citadels, again, for its Metalcraft Mox Opal, and just to be a good card with Krank-Clan, and even Thopter Foundry if we have to. And we have the Mox Opals I talked about, just for the best accelerator in the format. Taking advantage of it. That's why these decks even work. Then we have some basics, 3 islands, 2 plains, and 1 Singleton Ghost Quarter. Just because of the interaction between face reward and Ghost Quartering yourself, you can get a lot of value that way, and just net some extra lands, and just move towards hardcasting your Emrakul the hard way. That happens a lot with this deck. When I played it in the past. So, and then we have some 2 stars or 2 spheres. 4 stars and 2 Terrarians. They kind of act like a virtual same card, but spheres you actually have to sacrifice it to draw the card. Unlike that's why there's only 2 in this kind of deck. Chronex Star is much better. When you can sacrifice it to Krank-Clan, you get to draw an additional card when you do that. Same for Terrarian. You normally don't sacrifice them from mana, but it's basically to draw a card whenever you sacrifice them to Krank-Clan or Ironworks. So, and then we have Prisms to draw a card and fix our mana even more. Thopter Foundry, as I went over before. Inker Wellsprings is just the best draw spell for artifacts in this kind of deck. And then we have 1 Sword of the Meek, Fabricate, and a Tezzeret to help find our Sword of the Meek, and maybe the Codex Shredder if we need something out of our graveyard, like a face reward or Open the Vaults. And then the Ironworks, obviously. And then the Emrakul. I'll just go over the sideboard. Let's see. We have 4 Ensoul artifacts, 3 Blood Moons, 2 Engineered Explosives, 3 Ley Lines, and 4 Echoing Truths. Just kind of a catch-all answer to everything. Pretty much you need it to get rid of the problematic enchantments for the artifact decks, and anything else that might trouble you. Blood Moons to fight through like Valakut and greedy mana-based decks. In Souls, I'm not sure what these are actually for, but I'm sure I'll think of something during the games. Sanctities for burn and other combo decks, and maybe some discard if you think that's a problem. I'm not sure if it is. And then Engineered Explosives to fight other permanents that make that. Alright, let's get to the games.